Here's the thing. Whenever Joe Schmoes like me can build software now, the market's going to change. Let's just leave it at that. But seriously, I'm not a software engineer. I barely know what I'm doing. I can build software with Gemini 2.5 Pro in Cursor with an MCP server. I barely know what I'm doing, but I can build any software I envision. Now what I'm doing is I'm going through my business and I'm looking at all the software applications that I pay for. And I'm saying, okay, which of these can I build myself? And right now it's starting out very simple. Like I can build simple software applications that replace the entire subscriptions that I'm paying to these companies so that I can have it internally and not pay any subscription at all. As these models get better and better, I'll be able to do more and more complex platforms, and I will not be having to pay any B2B SaaS company any money at all because I simply don't want to. Now there's also GitHub repos where they scrape the entire software application you want to copy. Like let's say I go to some B2B SaaS company, I get this repo, scrapes the entire thing, gets the features, the functionalities, and then I put that into my AI agent, put it into the prompt, and it can start building the software. Obviously, you have to guide the current models a little bit, like the integration of Gemini 2.5 Pro into Cursor isn't amazing. Like it works very well, but these models are getting much, much better. I think Google said they have a Gemini 2.5 Pro level model, but is specifically designed for coding. So Gemini 2.5 Pro isn't even supposed to be that good at coding, yet it is. So whenever you have these better models that are better at coding and you have better ways of integrating them into an agentic interface for the user, such as us, to use, I mean, pretty much everybody with a very small amount of motivation is going to be able to build their own software for their own company, meaning the entire B2B vertical SaaS opportunity vehicle dies, genuinely. So here's what I think is going to happen. So to break this down, we had to jump into the whiteboard of truth and justice. I know you guys love my drawings. So starting off, there are a few different categories for software, right? You have like operating systems as one of the categories over here. This big oval thing is going to be an operating system. And then you have like large enterprise software like Salesforce or HubSpot. And then you have vertical B2B SaaS, not sauce, vertical B2B software for like specific niches. And then you have also a big one is consumer software. What I think is going to happen is this middle section over the coming years is going to die. It's going to start out here because people like me or any like relatively motivated business owner will realize that GPT-5 or GPT-6 is just going to be able to build the software for them. They don't need these like one-dimensional software applications anymore. The big enterprise software they'll still use just because there is friction in creating it. But I think over time, the models will become better and better and better, and large enterprise software will also become something that you might as well just build yourself, depending on how complex it is. Like there will be like cases where you would rather pay for it, and then there will be cases where you would rather not pay for it and just have it internally. For a lot of the big enterprise software, you don't actually need a lot of the complexities that they have. The simplicity that you could bring to yourself in a way that fits your specific business model would actually be better than using like mini HubSpot things or mini Salesforce things, right? So I think over time, in the next couple years, these like business models are just not going to exist, right? And then over a long enough period of time, maybe like the entire operating system turns into AI, right? That's decades away, in my opinion. So this leaves this leaves consumer software as, over the next coming years, the biggest niche to really saturate, because you're probably not going to compete with Microsoft, right? You're probably not going to compete with Apple or OpenAI or any of the people trying to build the next frontier operating systems. On the other hand, consumer software is going to explode because consumers would rather pay for something than build something. Even if they want something that it can be easily built, they're oftentimes going to pay just because that's their mentality, right? The consumer mentality is friction is painful, and I will pay to remove pain. And if I have to build my own software for my consumer need, that is friction and that is painful, so I'd rather pay, right? A business owner, on the other hand, realizes that it's advantageous to actually have your infrastructure internally because it increases your probability of survival. The consumer doesn't worry about that. So consumer software, I think, is going to go through the roof. And I think we have so much demand, and even if everybody is a coder, we're not going to fill that demand. The supply is not going to meet the demand. Now, here's the thing. When everybody's trying to build consumer software and everybody is capable of being a software engineer and they're trying to supply the software for the consumers, obviously that's going to become a red ocean, a very competitive market very quickly, right? So how do you stand out, right? That's the big question now. How do we even monetize software in the future that we're heading towards? Now, the reason I've been making this YouTube channel is to talk about this topic a lot. I think having an audience and having a community, a collection of individuals that are aligned on a particular goal or a set of actions or whatever, I think this is the future, along with, well, basically what it will be is a personal brand, right? Personal branding, some people hate it, some people love it. It's just going to be the future, whether you like it or not. Like, having a personal brand is the future way of doing business. Like, if you want people to join a community, if you want people to buy your software products, if you want people to do any of these different things, it's not that you're going to be able to do it without having a personal brand because the oceans are so red hot from competition. The people who will be able to compete will be the ones who have a personal brand, right? So personal branding, what you should think about it is basically it's a extremely powerful mechanism for grabbing attention and building relationships. You're building relationships with leverage. You're building relationships with hundreds or thousands or potentially millions of people at a time. You might not even know who they are, but you're building relationships with them, which makes it a super potent asset to have. So you're building these relationships, and now, no matter how red hot the market is, the people who resonate with you are going to buy your products, not your competitors' products, which is why personal branding is everything right now. So that encapsulates having an audience and having a community, right? And what I think the role of software will be in a very near future, and this is what I'm already starting to do, well, is first, people like me or you or business owners are going to replace the software that they are paying for with their own internal software. So the first thing is going to be replacing your software that you pay for with software that you have internally, right? And from there, you're going to be able to use software in an ecosystem format. So you'll have your personal brand, your audience, your community. I'm going to put the community down here because in this model, community is part of our product. Our community is a place where we have a bunch of people that are kind of all aligned on a similar mission. They all have similar goals in mind, and they're all trying to achieve the same thing. And this place is your product. This is a place of value for everybody that exists there. And we can actually use the personal brand. We can use the audience to fuel our community. We're essentially making a funnel here. Let's say this is the world. You have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have all these good things. And you can feed that down into your community. We are now adding brand new funnels to this. The funnels are software. As we mentioned, anybody's going to be able to build software, and software is now another funnel on your funnel, right? Software is the new content. Let me say that again. Software is the new content. B2B SaaS, vertical B2B SaaS, or large enterprise B2B SaaS will be dying at the pace of AI adoption because it's replicatable. It's completely replicatable, meaning I'm not going to pay for your software because I can build it myself with an AI agent, as we discussed earlier in this video. But what the consumer, as we mentioned, the consumer markets do not like to experience friction. Friction takes time, friction is painful, and there's no reason for them to build these software applications for themselves. So they will pay cheap prices, not expensive, because once it becomes too expensive, I mean, they'll just go find a cheaper version. But for cheap prices, they will buy your software. And in some cases, you'll be able to build software applications that are free that act as good lead magnets for the audience that you have, right? Or if you are ranking on Google, you can have like SEO with these software applications, and that'll capture leads and feed them down into your community, and then even other products down here as well, which these will probably be in the space of NFTs because of Web3 is coming, and NFTs or having different crypto tokens or whatever is going to be very valuable as products. So we have SEO. We have your software as content funneling down into your community and your other products. And you can even have like more complex software down here that is a little bit more pricey. And at this point, I mean, this is the final form of online business, if you ask me. Until like one day AI becomes the next operating system and Microsoft gets eaten by OpenAI or whatever company creates the next operating system for AI, and then everything's off the table. We don't know what happens after that. But for the next few decades, this is probably how it looks. Now, effectively what we're building here, again, is a funnel, but it's a specific type of funnel. And I call this a tripwire funnel, where on the front end of the funnel, you have your software, right? You have your software up here. And that software costs a very cheap amount of money. And effectively, what you're going to do is like sell maybe a piece of software for like $5 a month, or maybe it's something even cheaper. And now this categorizes your buyers into a different bucket. So let's say you have the world, and then you have the world flowing downwards into your software, and then it splits off, right? You have people who visit the landing page and don't buy, and then you'll have the people who visit the landing page and do buy. Now, you have created two different buckets. You've created two different marketing campaigns. One that's more of a nurturing campaign for people who maybe will buy one day, but they're definitely not right now. And then you have one where these people are already buying, and they are much hotter of leads. They're likely to buy again, basically, right? So now you have this funnel with a tripwire where you can have higher ranking prices, higher tiers of prices. So you can go to like $7 to like $20, maybe like $100 per month. And then maybe you have like a big high ticket thing up here that's like $5,000 or something like that. So this is a pretty traditional model. You'll see companies like Agora Financial. I'm not the biggest fan of Agora Financial because they do some things I don't like. But you'll see companies like that using this type of model where you have a tripwire funnel, you categorize the leads into different marketing campaigns, and you continue from there. I think that's genuinely going to be like the final form of online business. Like online business just won't exist. Engineering software won't be a thing. A lot of the ideas that we have today about business are just not going to work in the future where we're going. So in the next decade or two, maybe 1 to 2 decades, I think this is the final form of online business. And the 2 to 3 to 4 decades, like let's say 2 to 5 decades, obviously we're getting to some very unpredictable things at this point. So take this for a grain of salt. I think we're going to a world where, I mean, we'll have like humans that are augmented with AI with a brain-computer interface, and we're controlling these hyper-intelligent agents, and they're going to be like building energy technology for us, harvesting materials. We're going to be having like robotics allocating intelligent robots to do all these very complex things within the world of atoms. Like everything that I just talked about here is online within the world of bits. Eventually, everything in the world of bits, I think, is going to collapse into just a sufficiently powerful AI. And the companies that create this sufficiently powerful AI will eat the entire world of bits. I think that's going to take a while, to be honest. I think the scaling laws are going to continue, but we need to have fundamentally different architectures, like so many different things that need to happen for a sufficiently powerful AI to eat every single thing within the world of bits, which I think will happen eventually. And then at that point, we all get into like the world of atoms, and we get into manufacturing, we get into like space travel, colonization, and stuff like that. That's the end goal, honestly. That's where I really want to get to. But for now, this is a point of high leverage and low hanging fruit. It's like a perfect intersection for leverage and somewhat longevity with low hanging fruit. So I can take action to position myself for the final goal of the world of atoms and colonizing space, because that's going to be sick. And I think we're actually going to live through that. And we're also going to have like longevity with biotech. I don't believe in longevity escape velocity. I believe in radical life extension and even increasing human capabilities by quite a bit. That's our future. This is the mechanism of getting there. I think this is where we should be focusing. I'm going to start doing a lot more content like this, where we go deeper into tactics. And I'm going to be doing like live streams of me like building in public and stuff like that. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. And if you would like to join my community to learn more about this stuff, you can click the link in the description below. It is literally only $7 per month. It's super cheap. The price is probably going to go up in the future. I'm also building some other platforms that I think everybody's going to like. So if you want to be locked in at $7 per month, you can join now. You'll be locked in at this price for the foreseeable future. And if you want to leave at any time, obviously you can. So even as the price goes up in the future, if you lock in at $7 per month, you will not have to pay more. That being said, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you thought this was valuable, and peace out. Also, follow me on X, because I'm going to start posting on there even more often than I post here.